It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer, and today we got an Australian Doppelbock to show you from White Bay Brewery. Based in Sydney, Australia, this beer is coming in at 7.5% ABV in a 440 milliliter can. You can see the condensation on the can, but it's been out my fridge now for the best part of 35 minutes, so it's had a chance to warm up a little bit. I like to store my beer cold, but when I drink it, I want it slightly warmer just to experience all of that fantastic malt and the hops in the beer. White Bay Beer Company. So yeah, this is definitely a German themed beer. Without further ado then, let's get this beer out into a glass and see what we get. A little bit of smoke on the can opening. Beer in the glass. Oh, look at this! Look how dark that is. My goodness me. Now, if you're in Australia and you're watching this and you've maybe kind of gone, oh, I'll take a chance on this beer, and you've just watched me pour it out with a great big 4 to 5 finger head, and you're thinking, what is he doing? Well, that's the German way. It's the Czech way of pouring beer. Not the Czech, there's a Czech pour which we won't go into today. But what the thinking is that you have your beer, then you have the air around it, the oxygen, which if you leave a bit of meat out, a bit of raw meat out on the side, it's going to discolour after 20 minutes. If you leave a beer out on the side, it's going to flatten and not look the same after 20 minutes. It's oxygen. Oxygen literally kind of like attacks everything, apart from, you know, it's great for us to breathe, isn't it? But the atmosphere around us is trying to hurt stuff, kill stuff. So the theory is, with the German beers, the Czech beers, get a big head on the beer and it's protecting the beer from the environment around it that's trying to attack it. So whenever you go to Germany, whenever you go to the Czech Republic, you have these great big heads on the beer, just to kind of like, yeah, let's protect our beer, let's look after the damn stuff. We've taken kind of a couple of months to brew it after all. So good levels of carbonation in the beer. It's a deep, dark, mahogany coloured beer with a great head on it. Slightly off-white head. Good levels of carbonation as the beer rides up the side of the glass. And this beer was kindly sent to us from Mick in Australia. Thank you very much, Mick, for sending us the beer. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. It just gives me goosebumps, really, to be able to kind of stand here and say I'm drinking a beer from Australia that is being brewed for the Australian market, and it was never ever meant to make it the other side of the world. It's just tremendous that people choose to send us beer on the channel. So cheers, Mick. Let's get the aroma and dive into this one. That is just fantastic. Nutty, biscuity, bready, hoppy. The malts in the beer are just incredible. I just finished reviewing a German Dunkel. Now, kind of like an Australian Doppelbock is kind of... So Bock being strong, Doppel means double, so double strong beer. And you get the aroma, it's like caramel, roasty, toasty, biscuity, bready, hoppy, slightly sweet. Smells amazing. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. That is something else. That is just incredible. Stone the Crows. Stone the Crows. What a beer. What a beer that is. I'm going to start with the mouthfeel. Before the flavour, I'm going to talk about the mouthfeel. It's rich, creamy, luscious. Fantastic. I'd say it's a medium mouthfeel on the beer. You definitely get that sense of almost being... If this was a stout, it'll be edging towards Imperial Stout. If it was an IPA, it would edge towards kind of like a double IPA, Imperial IPA. And when you drink those sorts of beers, you expect a big, thick, creamy mouthfeel. 7.5% ABV. This beer certainly has that big, thick, rich, creamy mouthfeel. But then there's a tickle of carbonation that pushes the beer around the inside of the mouth, releases more of that flavour. And then rolling onto the flavours, it's just a big old digestive biscuit with chocolate on the top. It's just phenomenal, phenomenal. Oaty, biscuity, nutty wonderfulness. I mentioned kind of before, when I do these dark beer reviews from kind of like German style of beer, this is an Australian version, of course, like nutty brown bread, like going to an artisan bakery and picking up a nutty loaf of brown bread, maybe with a bit of flour on, some seeds on the top, you know, and you kind of like, you toasted it, so you're getting all the toastiness of the bread, you're getting some of the seeds, you're getting, it's just fantastic. And this is the same with this beer. The amount of malt that they've used in this beer to create this beer is just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. But it's balanced right. They've used just enough of the darker malt just to give it that kind of toastiness, that biscuity kind of toastiness. It's not overdone. It's just fantastic. A little bit of sweetness there. Let's check out the bitterness. Let's talk about the hops. Unbelievable. It's just a lovely initial sweetness, but as I'm talking now, there's a bitterness coming through on the back end. That's just phenomenal. It's a little raisin-like, fig, plum, prune, but stinging nettle-like bitter. A nice bitterness coming through. Not overly bitter, definitely not overly bitter, definitely kind of, it's definitely, this is the word, complementing the sweetness of the beer. This beer is all about them lovely malts in the beer, that kind of double malt, that double strong beer, which again, Doppelbock strong, double strong beer. It's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Where's the can? So there's all sorts of different things written on this can here. Brewed on the Balmain Peninsula, Mansfield Street, Roseale, Sydney, New South Wales, Australia. Using a selection of German malts with a majority Munich base, this beer is packed with rich, toasty, bready caramel aroma and flavour. Hull Malone hops used to provide some underlying bitterness without overpowering the palate. Underwent a 3-step mash and cold conditioned for many moons to ensure the best result for our Oktoberfest punters. Unfiltered and naturally carbonated. Do you know what I'm going to say? Mick and Trav, of course, have been sending me beers from Australia now for a number of years. And I love the IPAs, the double IPAs, the lagers they send, the stouts, the porters. But this, I'm going to say this is the closest example of a German style beer that I've ever reviewed on the channel from another country. This is just, they've got this so close. And if you think of where Australia is and where Germany is on the map, and if you think that they've got it so close. If I gave you that in a blind taste test in Germany, smuggled a can in from Australia, cooled it down and said, hey, try this Doppelbock, you will be massively convinced. You will be 100% convinced that you're drinking a German Doppelbock. It is really that good. It is that good. So I'm going to rate it. It looks good. Look at it. Look at it. Look at that. Look at that. It's just wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderfulness. Looks good, smells good, tastes incredible. Ten out of 10. 10 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.